So great to see such a great crowd. Please be seated. God bless you. I mean, to come after the General, Jerry, Eric, Michelle, the County Commissioner, and a table full of dignitaries over here. Everybody's a dignitary in this room. Everybody's a dignitary. When we first came back from Vietnam, nobody was a dignitary. If you wanted to get elected to office, you better not be a veteran. The judge over here would not have run back then. He's a judge today. He's a veteran. But being a veteran, I can tell you, when we first started the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., we had to raise the money ourselves. We had to go before Congress ourselves. They would not. There was no team to say they wanted a memorial for Vietnam veterans. And truly, there weren't any memorials on the mall that we thought were appropriate for all three wars that we were looking at the time. Vietnam, Korea, and World War II. So we started the battle. The battle was half the nation, they took a poll, was against the fact that the Vietnam Memorial was black. It was the first black memorial placed on the mall. We put it there. We fought. The majority of the people today that go there, that say they were against the memorial, many of them that cry, they cry tears because they fought against that memorial. When they feel up on the wall there, their neighbor's name, their friend's name, their father's name, their brother's name, those tears that we know are people up in the clouds looking over at us. And they're veterans. And they're acknowledging us for still remembering them. So I watched the Vietnam Veterans Memorial be built. Then the Korean War Memorial be built. Then the World War II, so overdue, be built. My mother and father met in the South Pacific. My mother was serving with General Douglas MacArthur. Her typewriter broke. She called the typewriting pool. They sent up a courageous typewriter repairman who ended up becoming my father. My mother was from Croydon, Pennsylvania. My father was from Alabama. He was 6'5", and my mother was 4'11". It's like this. So thank God I came out in the middle. But my mother, unfortunately back then they didn't know about post-traumatic stress. They didn't know about, they used to call it shell shock. They made fun of veterans because they had shell shock or whatever else. And then we started fighting for legislation. We realized that as we had to fight for memorial, we had to fight for legislation, and we got people recognized. But I think my father had post-traumatic stress. He left when I was 7. My mother had 4 children to raise, and 3 of them grew up and went off to serve in Vietnam and became disabled veterans. The guardian stood there when I buried my oldest brother at Washington Crossing National Cemetery. My younger brother, Daniel, he's an electrician today with a buck light. But I can tell you this, all the veterans that have gone before us, and many veterans that have taken the bus are no longer on this earth. And they're looking down at us. And they're smiling with joy. And their tears that are falling are tears of happiness that are still being remembered. So as I hear people talk, there's an old saying that we used to have, can you talk the talk and can you walk the walk? Parks Casino, over and above any institution, and all the casinos in the state of Pennsylvania, and I'll take New Jersey on also, Parks Casino is front and foremost. Give them a round of applause. I was sitting next to this young man, and I said, you either work out, or you're in good shape, or a young guy, or all of the above. He said, I'm do all of the above. But I'm 54 or something like that. He was so young, I just ignored it. But in closing, guys like Jerry, he came, and we have a philosophy with veterans, and all the veterans realize this. When I was first wounded in battle, when blood first fell from my body onto the soil, the foreign soil, the first thing I thought, wow, now I can join the VFW. That's what I thought. And not only can I join the VFW today, but I can help other veterans today. So I partnered with Parks. I have a philosophy that a strong body fuels a strong mind. If you keep your body in shape, you'll get your mind in shape. So yes, I was a young commissioned officer. I was 18 years old when I was commissioned. They say I was the youngest commissioned officer since the Civil War. I don't know. But I do know I led men into battle. And my goal was to bring the men home. It was not a macro war. I didn't know if I was going to kill Ho Chi Minh or who was going to do what. But I knew I had my assignments, my mission, and that was to bring people home. And I brought people home to their families. I did lose my medic. He died in my arms. And it was a tough situation. But I can tell you my medic's upstairs, and he's looking down over us right now. So for all the people that are upstairs in the heavens, I want to thank Parks Casino. I want to thank Jerry, the good general, Montgomery County Commissioner Tom for being here. But more importantly, we could not have done anything. We could not have the ceremony. We could not honor and respect, listen to the eloquent speeches of different people without you, the veterans. So I want to say, hoorah! Yes, hoorah! Yes,